guys, welcome back to Queen G's Recipes, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a basic vanilla cupcake recipe, and I'm also going to show you how to make a mint chocolate chip buttercream frosting. So we're going to be doing these cupcakes in honor of St. Patrick's Day. So let's go over the ingredients. So what you'll be needing is 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. In here I also have 1/8 teaspoon of salt and 1 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. You'll also be needing 4 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste, or you can use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I also have 1 cup of buttermilk here, which I actually made homemade. You can make with 1 cup of milk and 1 tablespoon of vinegar or 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, or you can buy it already made at the store. And in here I also have 1 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and I have these green cupcake liners which we'll be using. And of course you're going to need a bowl, a whisk, a spatula, and an ice cream scoop if you have one. If not, you can use 2 spoons. And let's move on to the next step. And of course you'll also be needing 1 cup of softened butter at room temperature. Salted or unsalted, it's your choice. It doesn't really matter for this recipe. Okay, so make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And now we're going to place our butter and our sugar in a bowl, and we're going to mix. So make sure your butter is very soft at room temperature, or else you won't be able to mix it. Mine is a little melted because I usually leave it on my stovetop when I'm using my oven. So if you have a handheld beater, or if you have a standing mixer, you can use those as well. It'll probably make your life a little easier, but I'm just using my whisk for today. And now we're going to add in our eggs. And we're going to give this a nice whisk. Okay, so I whisked my batter for quite a few minutes. As you can see how perfect, creamy and velvety it is. So now I'm going to add in my vanilla paste. But as I said, you can also use vanilla extract, 1 to 2 teaspoons. And now we're going to give this a quick mix just to incorporate everything. With the vanilla paste, you see all the vanilla specks in the batter, and also after the cupcakes are baked, you can see the little specks of vanilla, and it just looks so beautiful and amazing. And now, before mixing in our dry ingredients and our buttermilk, we're just going to give our flour, baking powder, and salt a quick little mix, just to have everything mixed in together. And then we're going to put in half of our flour batter and half of our buttermilk, and then we'll put in the remaining half of each after that's incorporated. So now we put in half of the flour mixture. And we're going to put in half of our buttermilk. And we're going to give that a mix, not overmix, just to incorporate all the ingredients. Okay, so now with our ice cream scooper, or if you don't have an ice cream scooper, you can definitely use 2 spoons. We're going to scoop 1 scoopful of batter into each muffin liner. Okay guys, so I want you to know that this recipe makes 24 cupcakes. Now, depending on how large or how small you make them, it may make a couple more or a couple less, but on the size that I'm making them, with one full scoop of ice cream, like a full ice cream scoop of batter, it made 22 cupcakes. So now I'm gonna place them in my preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 18 to 20 minutes. And then after, I'll let you know how long mine were in the oven for and what they look like. Okay guys, so my cupcakes were in the oven for exactly 20 minutes. Now make sure when your cupcakes are baking that you don't open the oven. Only open the oven after about 18 minutes just to check if they're cooked, and you can insert a toothpick just to check if it comes out clean. If it is, then they're ready. But mine were in, as I said, for 20 minutes, but it does vary from oven to oven. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make my mint chocolate chip frosting, but we must let our cupcakes cool completely. So I'm gonna let mine sit here for a couple of hours, and once they're completely cooled, I'll be showing you guys how to make the frosting. Alright guys, so my cupcakes have been cooling for several hours. I actually left mine cooling overnight, and I just put a little bit of plastic wrap. And now we're ready to go on to our buttercream icing. So I'm going to be making a mint chocolate buttercream icing, and I'm gonna go over the ingredients that we're going to be needing. So we'll be needing 4 cups of icing sugar, and in here I have a little sprinkle of salt, less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I also have about 1/3 cup of mini dark chocolate chips. You can use any chocolate chips of your choice. Here I have 1 cup of unsalted butter, but it must be at room temperature. I left mine overnight. I also have some gold dollar coins here, which are just to resemble the pot of gold, and some pure mint peppermint extract, and some green icing color. Now I do suggest you use the gel because the liquid coloring might unstabilize your buttercream, so I do suggest you use the gel. And here I have a few tablespoons of milk. Now it also depends the consistency of your buttercream, how you want the consistency of your buttercream. So I'm also going to be using my standing mixer, but it's totally up to you. You can use the handheld mixer as well. Okay guys, so here I also have a disposable piping bag, and I also have a Wilton tip 1A, but you can use any tip of your choice, it doesn't matter, and any type of icing bag is fine. And also you will be needing a toothpick just to take out your icing coloring. And let's move on to making our icing. So if you're using a standing mixer like I am, make sure you put on your paddle attachment. And now we're going to put in our softened butter, and we're going to give that a nice mix until it's all nicely whipped. So mix it for about a minute or so until it doesn't have any clumps or anything, and it's nice and creamy. Now along the way, just scrape the sides of your bowl. And continue whipping until it's all nice and creamy. So we're going to place 1/3 of our icing sugar into the creamed butter. And then we're gonna give it a mix starting on low speed, or you're gonna have sugar everywhere. And make sure you scrape all of the sides of the bowl along the way. And now we're going to put in the second portion of our icing sugar, but this time we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of our milk. And we're going to give that a nice mix for another minute or 2. Okay, and now we're going to add in our remaining icing sugar. And we're going to add in 1 more tablespoon of milk. And then once that is all nicely mixed together, which will be another minute or so, minute or two, if the consistency is still too thick, I will add another tablespoon. But right now, we're just gonna add 1 tablespoon of milk. You can also use heavy cream if you don't have any milk, or if you prefer heavy cream. It's totally up to you. So now we're gonna mix it again for another minute or two. So I have decided not to add in a 1/3 tablespoon of milk. I'm really happy with the consistency of my buttercream right now. So now we're just going to move on to adding in 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract. Now be careful because these extracts are very potent. They're not like the vanilla extract. I mean, vanilla is potent, but not as potent as these other flavors. So just be careful when you're pouring it in. But if you do want more of a peppermint taste, that's perfectly fine. You can add in a little bit more. Just be cautious with it. And now I'm going to give it another quick little mix. Okay, so now for our coloring gel, we're gonna take a toothpick and we're going to dip it into the coloring gel, just like that. And just stick it into a part of the buttercream and give it a mix. Now, depending on how dark or how light you want your green, you will add more or less. But right now, I'm doing just 1 little drop, and then we'll go from there. So now we'll mix just for a few seconds until it's all incorporated. Now make sure after you've put in your icing coloring that after it starts mixing in your bowl, you stop and scrape the sides and mix everything together, because there will be a lot of white buttercream under. So that everything gets incorporated, give it a mix with your spatula and then mix it again for another few seconds until you are completely happy with the color and completely happy with it all being, the color being dispersed in your buttercream. So let me just give this one more mix. Okay, so I'm really looking for that mint color, and I think I'm almost there. So I'm just gonna dip my toothpick into the coloring gel just very gently, just for a little bit. And then I'm going to add some more into the buttercream and give it another mix again, and then another mix with my spatula, and I'll show you my final color. And here you have it, guys, our mint buttercream icing. Now I'm really happy with this color. So I used about a toothpick and a half of dipping into my gel coloring bottle, and I just put it into the buttercream. But it's always best to do little bits at a time until you have the correct color. Then put too much and then it's too late to go back. You'll have to redo it. Now what I have here is just a tall glass with my piping bag in here, and I've already put in my tip, and I just cut a little piece right at the end of the tip, as you can see. And now we're just gonna put our buttercream icing into our bag, and then we're ready to pipe our cupcakes. Okay, so here you have it, guys. Now what I did was I just put a little elastic on the top just to prevent any spillage from the top. And now I'm going to show you guys how I pipe my cupcakes and how I'm going to decorate them. Okay guys, so what I like to do is I like to just pipe a little bit of icing here, and then just go around in a circle and all the way around. And there you have it. And now I'm going to continue on decorating my cupcakes, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so this is what my final product looks like. So what I did was I decorated them, and then I took a cupcake and I just put the chocolate chips gently on them, just to kind of give it that mint chocolate look and taste. Now, this buttercream is enough for 1 dozen cupcakes, even though the batter does make, the cupcake batter is enough for 2 dozen. Now my family started snacking on them since this morning, so it worked out. I only had a dozen left anyway. But if you do want to decorate all of your cupcakes, the 24, make sure you double the buttercream icing, and then you'll have enough for all of them. But this buttercream icing recipe is enough for 1 dozen. Now for the final look, and to add that gold touch, since we are celebrating St. Patty's Day, I just like to insert a gold coin there, and there you have it. Our mint chocolate cupcakes. Now I really hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I really enjoyed making this video for you guys. So don't forget to subscribe so you can see my future videos. And take care. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye. Happy St. Patrick's Day.